My 48 my wife, 46F, betrayed me with my daughter's 22F, fiancé, 24M. I never imagined I'd be sharing a story like this. My life has taken a turn I never saw coming, and I'm still trying to make sense of it all. I suppose I should start from the beginning. I met Monica during our freshman year of college. I was 18 and she was 17. We were both part of the campus environmental club, passionate about making a difference in the world. I remember the first time I saw her, she was giving a presentation about deforestation, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. I was captivated not just by her beauty, but by her intelligence and passion. We started dating a few months later. Our first date was a disaster. I had planned a picnic in the park, but it rained heavily. We ended up huddled under a tree, soaking wet, eating soggy sandwiches. But we laughed through it all, and that's when I knew she was special. After college, we both landed jobs in the same city. I went into corporate law, focusing on environmental cases, while Monica pursued a career in marine biology. We were young and ambitious, working long hours but always making time for each other. We'd often meet for late-night dinners, sharing stories about our day over takeout Chinese food. We got married when I was 24 and Monica was 23. It was a small ceremony in Monica's parents' backyard. I remember how beautiful she looked, walking down the aisle in a simple white dress, wildflowers in her hair. We wrote our own vows, promising to always support each other's dreams and to face life's challenges together. Initially, we didn't want children. We were both focused on our careers and enjoyed our freedom. We traveled extensively, backpacking through Europe, volunteering at a wildlife sanctuary in Africa, scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef. Monica's work often took her to remote coastal areas, and I'd tag along whenever I could, working remotely. About 6 years into our marriage, things started to change. We were at a friend's baby shower, and I noticed Monica looking wistfully at the baby gifts. That night, she confessed that she was having second thoughts about not having kids. I was hesitant at first. Our life was comfortable, and a child would change everything. But seeing the longing in Monica's eyes, I knew this was important to her. We spent the next year discussing it, weighing pros and cons. We even went to a couples retreat to talk through our feelings. Finally, we decided to try for a baby. It wasn't an easy journey. Monica had some health issues that made conception difficult. We went through 2 years of fertility treatments, each failure hitting us hard. There were times when we almost gave up, but we supported each other through the tough moments. Then, finally, it happened. I'll never forget the day Monica showed me the positive pregnancy test, her hands shaking with excitement. 9 months later, our daughter Amber was born. She came into the world with a strong set of lungs, and from that moment on, she had us wrapped around her little finger. Amber was an easy baby, but a challenging toddler. She was curious about everything, always getting into mischief. I remember one time, when she was 3, we found her in the kitchen, covered head to toe in flour, proudly announcing she was making cookies. Instead of getting angry, Monica just laughed and started baking with her. That was the kind of mom Monica was, patient, loving, always turning moments of chaos into moments of joy. As Amber grew, our lives revolved around her. We cheered at her soccer games, helped with science fair projects, and comforted her through her first heartbreak. When she left for college at 18, the house felt eerily quiet. Monica and I found ourselves reconnecting, rediscovering the couple we were before becoming parents. During Amber's sophomore year, she studied abroad in Spain. That's where she met Marco, a charming Italian exchange student. When she came back, all she could talk about was Marco, how he was studying to be a doctor, how he volunteered at animal shelters, how he could make her laugh even on her worst days. It was clear she was deeply in love. Last summer, when Amber was 21 and Marco was 23, we invited him to join us at our beach house. The beach house was a recent purchase, a reward to ourselves for years of hard work. It was a beautiful place right on the coast, with a wraparound porch perfect for watching sunsets. Marco arrived, and I was impressed from the start. He was studying medicine, top of his class, and had a great sense of humor. He fit right in with our family, helping me grill on the patio and discussing marine life with Monica. I remember thinking how lucky Amber was to have found someone so compatible. What I didn't expect was how Monica would react to Marco. At first, I thought she was just being friendly, but as the days went by, I noticed her behavior changing. She laughed a little too hard at his jokes, touched his arm a little too often. I brushed it off, telling myself I was being paranoid. After all, this was Monica, my wife of 24 years, the mother of my child. She wouldn't do anything to hurt our family, right? One evening, about a week into Marco's stay, I had to go into town for some groceries. We were planning a big family dinner, and I wanted to get some fresh seafood from the local market. When I came back, the house was quiet. I assumed everyone was at the beach, so I went to put away the groceries. That's when I heard it, giggling coming from the guest room. I froze, my heart pounding. I recognized Monica's laugh, followed by Marco's low voice. I don't know what came over me, but I found myself walking towards the guest room. The door was slightly ajar, and what I saw through that crack shattered my world. Monica and Marco were on the bed, kissing passionately. My wife, the mother of my child, was in the arms of our daughter's boyfriend. I must have made a sound because they suddenly looked up and saw me. Monica's face went pale, and Marco jumped off the bed. I couldn't speak, couldn't move. I just turned and walked away, my mind reeling. The next few hours were a blur. There was yelling, crying, accusations. Amber came home from her friend's place to find her world falling apart too. She was devastated, alternating between sobbing and screaming at her mother and Marco. It's been 2 weeks since that day. Amber and I are staying at a hotel while we figure out what to do next. Monica has been calling and texting non-stop, begging for forgiveness, saying it was a mistake. Marco left the day after it happened, and as far as I know, he's back in Italy. I'm lost. 24 years of marriage, gone in an instant. The trust is shattered, and I don't know if it can ever be rebuilt. Amber is barely speaking to her mother, and I can't blame her. How do you forgive something like this? I keep replaying memories in my head. Our wedding day, the birth of Amber, family vacations, quiet nights at home. Were they all a lie? How long has this been going on? Was I blind to the signs? I'm meeting with a lawyer next week to discuss my options. I never thought I'd be considering divorce at 48, but here I am. The hardest part is seeing Amber's pain. She lost her boyfriend and her trust in her mother in one fell swoop. I'm not sure what the future holds, but I know it won't be easy. Any advice or support would be appreciated. How do I move forward from here? Update 1. It's been about a month since my last post and a lot has happened. First, I want to thank everyone for their support and advice. It's been a challenging time, but your words have helped more than you know. After meeting with the lawyer, I decided to file for divorce. It wasn't an easy decision, but I realized I couldn't move past Monica's betrayal. The trust was gone, and without trust, what's left? The lawyer explained the process, and it felt surreal listening to him talk about dividing assets and discussing custody arrangements. Even though Amber is an adult, it still felt important to address. Monica didn't take the news well. She showed up at the hotel where Amber and I were staying, causing a scene in the lobby. She was crying, begging for another chance, saying she'd do anything to make it right. It was painful to watch, but I stood my ground. Amber was with me, and seeing her mother like that only made her more upset and angry. We've since moved out of the hotel and into a small apartment. It's not much, but it's a place for us to regroup and heal. The apartment is in a different part of town from our family home, which helps. Fewer painful memories to confront on a daily basis. Amber decided to take a semester off from college to process everything. I fully support her decision. Mental health comes first. She's been spending a lot of time painting, something she used to love but had given up when college got busy. It seems to be helping her process her emotions. As for Marco, we found out he's been trying to contact Amber. She blocked his number, but he's been reaching out through mutual friends. From what we've gathered, he's claiming it was a one-time mistake, that he was drunk and Monica came onto him. Amber isn't buying it, and neither am I. The betrayal runs too deep. The most surprising development came last week. Monica's sister, Emma, reached out to me. Emma and I had always gotten along well. She was more like a friend than a sister-in-law. She told me that Monica had confided in her about the affair with Marco. Apparently, it wasn't a one-time thing. It had been going on for months, starting shortly after Marco's first visit to our home last Christmas. Emma was torn about whether to tell me, but she couldn't keep it to herself any longer. She also revealed that Monica had a brief affair early in our marriage, something I had no idea about. It was like a punch to the gut. Our entire marriage felt like a lie. Emma explained that it happened during a rough patch in our marriage when I was working long hours at the law firm, and Monica felt neglected. It doesn't excuse her actions, but it shed some light on issues in our marriage that I had been blind to. I told Amber about what Emma said. She was devastated all over again. It's one thing to think it was a moment of weakness, but to learn it was a months-long affair? That her boyfriend had been sleeping with her mother all this time? It was too much. Amber locked herself in her room for days, barely eating. I felt helpless, unsure how to comfort her when I was struggling to cope myself. Amber has started seeing a counselor to help her process everything. I'm considering doing the same. The weight of all this is sometimes overwhelming. There are days when I can barely get out of bed, when the thought of facing the world seems impossible. But I push through, if only for Amber's sake. The divorce proceedings are moving forward. Monica is contesting it, but my lawyer seems confident. We're also selling the beach house. Too many painful memories there now. It feels like we're dismantling our entire life, piece by piece. Each decision, each document signed, feels like another nail in the coffin of our marriage. I'm taking it one day at a time. Some days are better than others. I've started running again, something I used to love, but had given up as life got busy. The physical exertion helps clear my mind, if only temporarily. Amber and I are leaning on each other, which has brought us closer in a way. We're both hurt, both betrayed, but we're getting through it together. There are moments when I find myself missing Monica, missing the life we had. Then I remind myself of her betrayal, of the years of lies, and the anger comes rushing back. It's a constant emotional roller coaster. I'll update again when there's more to share. Thank you all again for your support. It means more than you know. Update 2. It's been 3 months since my last update, and 6 months since that fateful day at the beach house. Life has settled into a new normal, though it still feels surreal at times. The divorce is finalized. Monica didn't contest it in the end. I think she realized it was futile. We split our assets 50-50, which felt fair considering we both contributed equally to our finances throughout our marriage. The beach house sold quickly, and that money was split too. Signing those final papers was a mix of relief and sadness, the end of a chapter, but also the beginning of a new one. Amber has returned to college. She's still hurting, but she's channeling that pain into her studies. She switched her major to psychology, saying she wants to help people who've been through similar traumas. I couldn't be prouder of her resilience. She calls me every few days to check in, and we've started a tradition of weekend video chats where we cook the same meal together in our separate kitchens. We had a breakthrough moment last month. Amber found some old photo albums while we were packing up the last of our things from the family home. There were pictures of her as a baby, Monica and me looking young and happy. For the first time since everything happened, Amber broke down and really cried about losing her family as she knew it. We sat on the floor, surrounded by those memories, and talked for hours about the good times, about how much things have changed. Amber shared stories from her childhood that I had forgotten, like the time we tried to build a treehouse and ended up with a lopsided platform that we proudly called our forest castle. We laughed and cried together, mourning the loss of what we had while trying to appreciate the good memories. Amber admitted she missed her mom, despite everything. I told her it was okay to feel that way, that it didn't negate the hurt or mean she had to forgive right away. We talked about the complexity of emotions, how it's possible to be angry at someone and still love them. It was a heavy conversation, but it felt like a weight had been lifted afterwards. As for Monica, she's moved in with her sister Emma. Last I heard, she started volunteering at a women's shelter. Part of me hopes she's genuinely trying to be a better person, for Amber's sake if nothing else. Emma keeps me updated occasionally, which I appreciate. It's strange to think of Monica building a new life without us, but I suppose that's what divorce means. Marco tried to contact me a few weeks ago. He sent a long email, apologizing and trying to explain himself. I didn't respond. Some things can't be explained away or forgiven, at least not by me. Amber tells me he's still trying to reach out to her too, but she's standing firm in her decision to cut him out of her life. I've started dating again, tentatively. Nothing serious, just coffee here and there. It feels strange after being with Monica for so long, but also exciting in a way. I'm rediscovering parts of myself that I'd forgotten. I've joined a local hiking group, something I always wanted to do but never found the time for when I was married. It's nice to meet new people, who don't know my story, who just see me as I am now. Amber and I have started a new tradition of weekly dinners, just the two of us. Sometimes we cook, sometimes we try new restaurants. It's our time to check in with each other, to make sure we're both doing okay. Last week, we tried our hand at making sushi. It was a disaster, rice everywhere, lopsided rolls, but we laughed more than we had in months. Life goes on, as they say. It's not the life I imagined, but I'm making the best of it. Amber and I are healing, slowly but surely. That's all I can ask for right now. Update 3. It's been a year since everything fell apart, and I felt it was time for another update. So much has changed, yet in some ways it feels like that day at the beach house was just yesterday. Amber graduated college last month. Watching her walk across that stage, I felt a mix of emotions: pride, joy, and a tinge of sadness that Monica wasn't there to see it. Amber had invited her, but Monica decided not to come, thinking it would be too awkward. Instead, she sent a heartfelt letter and a gift. It was probably for the best. The graduation ceremony brought back memories of my own college graduation, with Monica cheering from the stands. I remember how we talked about our future that day, never imagining where we'd end up. Life has a way of surprising you, I suppose. After the ceremony, Amber told me she's been talking to Monica more frequently. They're not back to where they were, and maybe they never will be, but they're trying to rebuild some kind of relationship. It's been hard for me to accept, but I understand Amber's need to have her mother in her life. They've been meeting for coffee every couple of weeks, taking small steps towards reconciliation. As for me, I've found happiness in unexpected places. Remember those coffee dates I mentioned? Well, one of them turned into something more. Her name is Claire. She's a widow with 2 grown kids of her own. We met at a local bookstore, both reaching for the same novel. It felt like something out of a romantic comedy, and we laughed about it over coffee. We've been seeing each other for about 6 months now. Claire understands my baggage, and I understand hers. It's different from what I had with Monica, but in many ways it's better. There's a depth of understanding and appreciation that comes with age and experience. We're taking things slow, both aware of the complexities of blending families and navigating relationships later in life. Amber was hesitant about Claire at first, which I completely understood. But they've gotten to know each other, and now they get along well. Amber told me she's just happy to see me happy again. Last month, we all went on a weekend trip to a nearby lake. It was nice, creating new memories in a place without painful associations. I ran into Marco at a coffee shop last week. It was awkward, to say the least. He tried to apologize again, but I just walked away. Some wounds are still too fresh, even a year later. Seeing him brought back a flood of emotions I thought I had dealt with. That night I had trouble sleeping, old memories resurfacing. Monica has moved out of her sister's place and bought a small house of her own. She's still volunteering at the women's shelter and has started taking courses in social work. Emma tells me she's been seeing a therapist regularly, working through her own issues. Part of me is glad she's trying to turn her life around, even if I can't be a part of it. Amber's been applying to graduate schools for psychology. She's thinking about specializing in family therapy, inspired by her own experiences. We spent a weekend visiting potential schools together. It was nice, just the 2 of us on a road trip like we used to do when she was younger. The beach house sold a few months ago. Cleaning it out was harder than I expected. Every room held memories, family vacations, holiday gatherings, quiet weekends away. But as we packed up the last box, I felt a sense of closure. That chapter of our lives is over, but new ones are beginning. I've started writing again, something I loved in college but gave up as life got busier. Nothing serious, just short stories and the occasional poem. It's therapeutic, a way to process my thoughts and emotions. Claire's been encouraging me to join a local writers group. Life has a funny way of surprising you. A year ago, I thought my world had ended. Now I'm embarking on a new chapter, with new love and a stronger relationship with my daughter. It hasn't been easy, and there are still hard days. But I'm hopeful for the future in a way I never thought I'd be again. Amber and I still have our weekly dinners. Last night, we tried making homemade pizza. As we were kneading the dough, laughing at our misshapen attempts, I realized something. We're going to be okay. Different, changed, but okay. To anyone going through something similar, hang in there. It does get better. Not perfect, but better. And sometimes that's enough.